He was correct. Charles Prince was correct. There was an imperfection in the system. Therefore, you cannot have a straight reason for survival. You have to find your own ways. We continue to rely on the past, which has generally been stable. Things have been fine, but the future is uncertain. So can you continue doing that? Look ahead and see within yourself, what is it that you want to be doing? You'll have to listen carefully to this because I'm not going to give you solutions. But from within this talk, you will have to figure out what is relevant for you. And you will find the pertinence you can ask questions later. This is one of the biggest mistakes that happens. We keep looking at things and say, in our close environment, and say, it's not working for me. This guy is not listening to me. He doesn't realize what I'm doing. But we're myopic because we cannot see what's the bigger picture. We're unable to connect the pieces and say, what is it that the organization is wanting to do? What is it that the CEO looks at me for? Yet we have intense pressure to deliver. We have sales targets, we have deliverables every quarter, every month, and if we don't fulfill them, we have targets to fulfill, and if we don't fulfill them, we are seen as people who are inefficient, not working, not fit to be in the organization. We might be very good, we might be excellent, with immense values, immense capabilities, but if we do not deliver, we're not there. And then what happens is we say, listen, I need to do this. This is the best thing to do, and we start rationalizing it and saying, this is good for the organization. This is good for society, and therefore let's continue doing it, which is what we continued doing until the financial system collapsed. I bring you a case. Many maybe football fans. All of you know this person.
Yes, sir.
Looks like almost all. Alex Ferguson, Manchester United, one of the most successful all-time managers. What made him good when the others couldn't be good in the same environment? Obviously, he had something special in his ability to think, not necessarily competence. There were other people as competent. So let's take a look at this case. His work ethics was unwavering and relentless commitment to his club. That's the first thing any organization looks for. Relentless dedication, commitment to their company. He understood the need for collaboration. All of us say, I'm good, I will deliver this, I will do this, let the other guys see. He said, we have to work as a team. Individually is not enough. He trusted his team. He believed in himself to take calculated risks. Many of us lose our beliefs and say, listen, it doesn't matter. Company says do this. I could have done differently, but maybe this is the best. You have to be able to say, I think this is right, and if I take this decision within these interests, then you have to prove it. And decisions that you take have to be good in the long term, in the interest of the company. Very important. Flexible and adaptable. If I am strong, if I am committed and competent, I need still to be able to sometimes say, this guy is better, he's got a better way of doing things. Not just keep on saying, I'm the only one who can do it. Listen to me.
Sir, you can take this collar mic. I think that will be better.
Well, you can see I'm looking like an old-time manager who's unable to figure out which mic to use. So it's the 30, 35 years of work experience showing. So let's go beyond this case and look at the next guy. No, last two very important things. No matter what you do, you cannot lose sight of your objectives. Your objectives or the company's objectives. Can you hear me at the back? So which are more important, your objectives or company objectives?
Company objectives.
So you can't lose sight of that. You may not feel that you're getting recognition, but if that requires you to stay back because it fulfills the company's objectives, then that's what you need to do. Why do I have this picture here? Just the fact that you have so many kinds of vegetables and fruit sitting out there, it shows that every marketing company is beginning to deal with more complex SKUs, more complex demands. There is more complex need which is emerging from the consumer. It's not something which is new. It's been happening. It's happening at a much faster pace now. The consumer is changing, the consumer is evolving, the consumer is seeing new aspirations, the consumer is seeing new things, new values, and he says, I don't care what you guys want in the past. I want to see things my way. I heard about this on the internet. I know more than people that listen. So the way he shops is beginning to change. We have technology that's evolving. So your channels are evolving. How you sell, how you display, how you sort of lead them into the shops is changing. And as I said, the social media is exploding. So the entire universe for the consumer goods companies has changed. To the extent, today I say, 15 years ago, we were not doing any marketing. We were only selling to consumers because we had products, they had a need. We said, here it is, buy a refrigerator, don't care what brand, don't care what size. Fridge is a fridge, buy it. Today it says, I need a refrigerator which is freezer at the bottom, freezer at the back, freezer on the top, freezer kept in some other corner. Can you give it to me? And he goes out there in social media and discusses and says, you know, I heard in Taiwan someone did something of this kind. I heard Korea did something. How come we are not doing it? And then the guys here start working faster and more rapid and start understanding why Korea wants it, why I don't have it. So when companies are grappling to deal with the VUCA environment, they have to start doing something. For example, let me take Nestle. We used to be, some 10 years ago, marketing director and then brand managers, each brand manager looking at different brands. But we found that this would become so top heavy. The marketing director didn't have time to focus on all the 20 brands or 15 brands. He said, out of these 50, these 3 are very major for me. My energy, my thinking, my strategy goes on this, the others can take care of themselves. So Peter Bradley, who is the chairman of Nestle Global, he said, listen, this is not going to work. You've become a ship which is beginning to become bigger and move slowly, and it's beginning to lag behind. So let's break the marketing department to smaller boats, which are swifter and faster, because each boat has its own captain. He focuses on how the boat needs to go, where it needs to go, and what I need for that. So there was a change in the organizational structure. Some improvement maybe, changes will still happen. Then there was the supply chain, then there was the corporate affairs, and people started saying the process needs to be simplified. Processes need to be standardized, because if you have too many people, it costs too much. You need to cut down on the waste. The point is, you keep on evolving your organizational structure, and your roles will become fluid. You start thinking, but I came here as a brand manager who was supposed to work on strategy for this brand. What you're asking me to do is go to the agency, get the artworks done. I'm an errand boy. Is that what I did my MBA for? You start getting frustrated. But yes, you have to do it because that's what the organization wants you to do. Why do I say decision making is getting restricted? Because when there is complexity and you allow everyone down the line to start making their decisions, chances are decisions go wrong. Now the organization cannot afford to have too many decisions going wrong. So they set in standard processes and they say where there's ambiguity, only one or two people will make decisions. So in the process, you start feeling that I don't have decision-making authority. I may be competent, but I start getting frustrated. I'm only giving you a scenario for you to understand that this is what will happen or can happen. If you're very fortunate to get into one excellent organization which is tight enough to give you that flexibility, otherwise most of the time this is where you will be. And that's where you have to find solutions. So, this is what you did. You take a helicopter view every time that you're in a situation and say, what if I was the head of the department? What is the head of the department wanting from me? How is he seeing the team operating? Does he see a role for me? What do you think? What should I believe he sees be my role? And you understand that. Only when you have that helicopter view can you move ahead. They expect you to integrate functions. They expect soft skills. And this I consider very important. Does anyone know what FTL is? Frustration tolerance limit. Low frustration tolerance limits will make you very unhappy. You have to find ways to make sure you have a high FTL. That is a single most important key to succeed. High FTL. And don't rock the boat. Now this is something which I've learned after many years. You may be very good. You may be excellent. But if you're taking better people around you because they believe you're better, or because they're incompetent, they're not going to support you. They're not going to work with you. They'll find ways to get around you. Unless you are someone that they respect. I can see it's becoming a little boring for many, but that boredom is worth it if you want to go out in the corporate world. So let's just quickly try and wrap it up. Management is not a set of rules. No one can give you 5 or 6 or 7 things to do. They can only help you understand the environment. Management is about getting things done. It's alignment with objectives, which is very important. If you're not aligned with objectives of the company, no matter how good you are, you're not going to. It's about finding solutions. Very often we have situations where the team members say, cannot be done, can't be done, processes are wrong, so-and-so is not cooperating. The team leader is saying, listen, that's fine. What are you here for? You're not here to tell me what is wrong. You're here to find ways to do the job. You have to find ways. That's your innovativeness. More and more companies are promoting people who have the capability to negotiate and network. Competence is second. Your ability to negotiate, network, get various functions together behind the job is seen as highly capable. Quick decisions is something which everyone has to take. So why this? Where do you think you are part of this? They're all managers. I said manage is all about this management, and yet I say don't manage. Do you think there's something missing out here? There's one word missing. It's don't just manage. Don't just manage. You have to lead. You might find it boring just now. You might find it very stale, attitudes. But if you look at this statement and go back and say, why did I make this statement? You'll probably find solutions to success later. The difference between managers and leaders, everyone has. But when you start looking inside and say, why am I seen as a leader? Is when you start listening to people, start empathizing with them. When you start getting seen as a person who the management listens to or respects for capabilities, then you are an influencer within the organization. Then you are the leader. And being the leader is the most important because your leadership is the legacy that you will leave behind in your company, in your community, in your life. Each one of you will have a different leadership style. You have to learn to find that style, not look for formula. That leadership style will come from your values, from your parents, from your colleagues, from your teachers, from within the organization. When you say, listen, this environment has changed, how can I help the organization reach the objective much faster? Thanks. If you have questions, I'll take them later. Otherwise, Professor Deepak.